smile, black lipstick, sensual politics.
We're breaking down the top 5 performances from the 2021 Grammys. Hey guys, welcome back to another Shared News from Home. We are so excited to talk all things Grammys. But before we get started, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring, and I'm joined by the wonderful Gianna Grabalisi. Gianna, there is so much to talk about. I know we were both loving the show last night. Obviously, Trevor Noah hosted the 63rd Annual Grammy Awards. The show did look and feel different than, awards shows past, but I think overall it was super fun. It was full of performances. We had all the A-list stars we love to see. There were so many exciting moments from Beyonce making history. She now has Grammys ever. Casual, very Beyonce of her. Billie Eilish, totally fangirled over Megan The Stallion. Of course, Harry Styles, Dr. Feather Boa. I mean, I could just go on. It was a huge night, Gianna. I know you loved the show. I know you loved the Grammys. Just tell me how you're feeling.
I was not disappointed last night watching the Grammys. I really loved overall how different the show was. We had a whole different structure. They even had short films about each artist nominee in between the nominations. So they would dive into, a performance, and then they'd go to the short film, then they'd go outside to give an award, then we'd go back inside for another performance. All the performances were spectacular. The fashion, the celebrities, the awards went to everyone that I really think that they all deserved. So I don't think anyone got robbed this year. Usually I'm always tweeting angry things, but I was pleasantly surprised. So although obviously we're in the middle of a pandemic, I watched the red carpet beforehand, and then the show itself was really structured nicely. So I just loved this year's Grammys so much.
Yeah, I was totally with you. There was something to be said about, and I had a feeling the Grammys were going to really get this one right. Like, award shows at home can be tricky, but there was a lot less of those like awkward Zoom moments. They were able to get a lot of people there. I loved how they were cycling people out. There felt like there was something really special about just, all of the nominees sitting there while someone accepted. They really kind of met the moment, and I loved that room in the beginning, where they bounced from stage to stage and they were cutting back and forth between artist reactions to, their peers performing. Some of these things, like those short films you mentioned, I wouldn't be mad to see at the Grammys when the world goes back to normal, right? Which is really exciting because some of the other award shows, as best as everyone's, trying to make them feel exciting and special and like we're used to, can't meet the moment as well. So very impressed overall. There were so many incredible performances. Truly, you guys, trying to narrow it down to a top 5 seemed impossible. We looked at all different lists, all different rankings, Twitter reactions. These are 5 incredible performances. Obviously, depending on, who you stand, who you're into, maybe you're going to be like, no, that was not my top 5. But let's go over the ones that sort of overall have been ranked as leading the night. First up, we're going to kick things off with Harry Styles. This was his debut solo Grammy performance. He, of course, did Watermelon Sugar, which, by the way, if you're not, familiar with how the show played out, he also won Best Pop Solo Performance for Watermelon Sugar. Now, Harry did not have, a big flashy set, a lot of crazy lights, backup dancers, but he did have a green feather boa and some of his own dance moves. Literally had Twitter losing its mind. Let's check out a clip. So much fun. Gianna, I am a huge Harry Styles fan. Like, literally from the One Direction days, he was always my favorite, had the posters, did the whole thing, absolutely obsessed. I was like so proud of this performance. I thought he absolutely killed it. What did you think of Watermelon Sugar?
I mean, my face hurts because I just smiled the entire time. Like, I wasn't a huge One Direction fan like you, but I really came to love Harry Styles when he went off on his own. And this performance, I mean, you just watch his old One Direction stuff compared to this, he has grown so much as an artist. I mean, he sounds amazing. He's really come to be one with his identity. He speaks out, he wears his dresses, he's really an advocate for all of that. So I think that this performance was spectacular. He did do that little dance that everyone is going crazy over, and I loved it. The boa was just icing on the cake, and then he tossed it, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's him snatching my weave from watching this performance," because it was great. He was amazing, and I just loved it.
Absolutely. I literally think there are very few people in the world who could wear a green feather boa and have everyone out there losing their mind. I was sitting with my boyfriend and he was like, how come I can't pull off a feather boa? So Harry Styles is really, one of a kind. We absolutely love him. And I'm so happy he took home an award as well. We could not talk Grammys without talking about Taylor Swift. So we're going to jump over to her next. She made history with her third Album of the Year award for folklore. And of course, she treated us to literally a magical, I'm talking pure magic performance of Cardigan, August, and Willow. Let's check out a clip.
Stepping on the last string marked me like a bloodstained eye. Begging for you to take my hand, break my plans. That's my land.
Oh my goodness. I was just dying last night when she came out, dying again watching it now. She literally looks like she is having so much fun. They did such a good job of bringing this whole world she created with this album to the Grammy stage, the set, the costumes. I was just obsessed with this. It felt like so her, so right. I just have no words. What do you have to say, Gianna?
I mean, I also have no words, but the only words I do have is that I just felt like I was watching some dream-like fairy tale movie. I mean, the production quality of this performance was absolutely spectacular. I mean, she went from on top of the house, then she's like in a house and then out in the trees. Like it just looks like this magical, mystical land. And, she's just also grown so much as an artist herself. I mean, she's been going to the Grammys for almost 10 years now as an artist. So to see her go from that little innocent country girl to now this is amazing. And I loved this performance so much.
Absolutely. I am so with you. Also, this just felt like one of those things where we had all died when Folklore came out, right? And then Evermore came out. She has been carrying us through this quarantine. We got to, kind of top it all off with this performance. What a journey. Obviously, listen, we can't talk Harry, we can't talk Taylor without addressing, the elephant in the room. If you're a longtime fan, I think a lot of us were on the edge of our seats knowing that they were both going to be at the Grammys, both performing. Obviously, it's ancient history. They both moved on, but anytime exes reunite, it's a big deal in pop culture land. We did see Taylor cheering Harry on as he accepted his award. Huge smile on her face, standing, clapping for him. And even that, I was like, oh my God, look, there's Taylor. He's accepting. But we also got a little video moment of them actually reuniting behind the scenes, chit chatting. And if you're a big fan, this is a big deal. You get it. Let's look at this moment that was caught on camera. So from the smiling to the hand gesturing, I mean, obviously, you guys, there's no sound, but this is kind of everything I could ever want and more. I am dying to know what they're talking about. I wish I could have been a fly on the wall. They looked like so excited to be seeing each other. I just remember when they took a walk through Central Park and literally everyone lost their mind. So I feel like this is a big, big moment. What do you make of this, Gianna?
This was huge. I mean, like you said, when I saw them clapping for each other, that was enough for me. I'm like, oh my God, supportive exes. Like, They have a past, obviously. So just seeing them be so great to each other, a lot of relationships in the music industry that have gone south usually just stay south. We haven't seen, for example, Justin Bieber and Selena. They had a really messy, bad breakup, but Taylor and Harry are here laughing, chatting it up. Harry ripped his mask off at the end, which was just so cute. And you could see his dimples. I mean, you could see her cheekbones. They're both just smiling. If I had to guess, the conversation was probably like, "Oh, you did amazing. No, you did amazing," type of, light, fluffy conversation, considering that they both performed. But no matter what the conversation was, regardless, it's just so good to see them together and being so supportive of each other.
I am so with you. I think you have hit it on the money. I totally agree. I think this was definitely like a compliment fest. It had that kind of energy. We love to see exes reuniting. I love how you pointed out, like, this is so great to see them on such great terms, having so much fun together. We could talk, I think, Harry and Taylor all day. I would definitely, watch this video 100 times and keep analyzing it, but we got to move on. There are a lot of great performances we have to get to. And I know you love this one. This was Dua Lipa and Baby performing Levitating and Don't Start Now. It was a big night for Dua Lipa. She took home the award for Best Pop Vocal Album. Absolutely stunned in this performance. There were literally 3 costume changes, you guys. 3. Let's take a look.
If you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, don't come out. Don't start caring about me now.
Oh my goodness. Absolutely killed it. Gianna, I don't know if you caught this, but I feel like it was semi recently. There was some meme or some tweet about her being like a boring performer. This was one of the most exciting, over the top, amazing performances of the night. I was so excited. I'm such a fan of hers. I know you have a lot of thoughts, so I just want to hear you.
I have so many thoughts, Fiona. You're so right. I just love Dua Lipa as an artist. I loved Future Nostalgia. That album was just dance party central. It really got me through this pandemic, honestly. Like, those songs are just absolutely amazing. That's all I have to say about that. Now, when it comes to somebody saying that she's a boring performer, I'm like, where? Because she served us last night. I mean, she had dancing skills that I didn't even know she had. I saw her live at some Jingle Ball Kiss concert a couple of years ago. And, she did look amazing and she kind of strutted around the stage. So I can see why people would see her as boring. But I mean, from seeing that to now this on my TV last night, I was blown away completely. Like you said, all the costume changes, I was like, how is she not out of breath? She was rolling around the floor. She was going from one place to another. It was a whole production. And I mean, the costumes, that sparkly pink, and I think also the backup dancers, like, you see their masks and their masks have lips on it. So it doesn't even really look like they're wearing a mask, which I thought was so creative for that. And oh, I just love this woman, and she had such a great year as an artist, and this performance just really showed it. So would watch it over and over
I
again. I love her.
I'm so with you. She had such a huge year. This was such a powerful performance. Like you said, the background dancers, the production value, it was so there. She absolutely killed it. I was so excited she took home an award. I'm a huge fan of hers. I'm glad this was a big night. I'm glad this sort of felt like the perfect way to top off, as you said, such an incredible album. Such a good one. I feel like also we could talk about her for the rest of this episode because she was so incredible. Next up, you guys, we have to talk about Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak literally debuting their new collaboration, Silk Sonic, at the Grammys. They performed their new song, Leave the Door Open. It was magical. It had all these 70s vibes. Bruno Mars is someone who consistently blows me away. I have been such a fan of his for such a long time. And Anderson, I mean, I just lost it. I don't know too much about him. I'm going to have to do a deep dive. Gianna, this was such an incredible performance. Let's take a look.
That you feel the way I feel and you want me like I want you tonight, baby. Tell me that you're coming through.
I literally felt like I was transported back in time with this performance. I mean, These two together, they're just so incredible. I was blown away. I really am excited for Silk Sonic now. I mean, way to make a debut. This was incredible.
This was absolutely incredible. And if you were watching live, they even had those 70s themed graphics on the screen with the title of the song, which was so cool. And the whole time I watched this, I was just thinking, Bruno Mars took the initiative to ask to perform at the Grammys, mind you. Nobody wanted him to perform. They did not ask him. And I think it's because, he was working on this partnership as Silk Sonic. So people just kind of thought, what's he really doing? I know there's a single out, but we don't know what's happening. So I think that's why the Grammys didn't invite him. But he took the initiative as an artist to ask to perform last minute also, which is so iconic. And this is what they came up with, which it's amazing. I love the costumes. Like you said, such 70s vibes. And it's so simple. I love the starry background. And it's just perfect. Bruno Mars, he does anything from these pop songs that make us want to dance to these vibey songs that just make us want to rock out. So mellow. And I love him. And I can't wait for this partnership.
I have to say, I had no idea what was going on. I'm a Bruno Mars fan, but I didn't know about this whole thing. And to me, there's something so exciting when two artists are just like, you know what? Let's try something new, right? I mean, Bruno Mars didn't have to do this. He just was like, you know what? Feeling this idea, I want to give it my all. Let's give it a whirl. Let's go for it. And then, like you said, the initiative to be like, hey, can we come, show people what we've got going on? Can we introduce everyone to this? I think is such a power move. I was so here for it. They also played an incredible tribute to Little Richard later on in the night that had everyone talking. It was so powerful, such an amazing as well. So they really, for some late additions, kind of came in and took over the Grammys. I have to say, quite a moment. Very impressed. And let's move on because last but certainly not least, rounding out our top five, we have Cardi B, Megan The Stallion, another collaboration. They performed Up and WAP together. It was quite a moment, to say the least. It was a huge night for Megan. She took home 3 awards. She performed twice. She also performed Savage and Body, 2 of her own songs. That was absolutely incredible too. The only reason it didn't make the top 5 is because we physically couldn't include every performance. And WAP just needed to be discussed. I think we had a giant stiletto stripper pole. There was a giant bed. I mean, you can't talk Grammys 2021 without talking this performance. So let's take a look. So, like I said, so much to unpack. I mean, the set, the costume, the props, the choreography. This is going to be one of those Grammy performances that is talked about for a long time. Gianna, what are your thoughts?
Wow. They took my breath away, first of all. Like, my jaw was just on the ground last night watching this performance in the best way possible. I think that WAP was a huge song this year, obviously. It blew people away. It started a controversy. Kylie Jenner was in the video. There was so much about just the song itself. So to see this performance come to life at the Grammys with the both of them was insane. Like you said, Fiona, the set itself, that money flying around the giant bed. I mean, everyone was just absolutely in shock. I mean, all the other artists definitely had great sets as well, but this one was over the top. When Cardi was performing Up, she had these graphics behind her that were going along with the choreography, making it look like she was sitting on a money tower. I was just like, what is happening? And then this specific choreography on the bed, I was just like, it blew me away. And I was also cracking up because I'm like, all the words that had to get changed or bleeped out, like they had to basically rewrite the song to make it family friendly to be aired on television. So this whole thing was amazing. It put me in the best mood. It was so empowering also to just see them together. And like Meg The Stallion, like you said, she just came out of 2 other performances. She did a quick change. She even changed her entire hair, which I was like, how'd that happen within 1 minute? And this is what we got with Cardi B. So they just exceeded my expectations. And I just need to see them on tour once the world opens back up again because I just loved this and I loved them.
I'm so, so with you. This was honestly one of the only performances of the night that I had the thought in my head. God, I wish there was a crowd there because the energy was just off the charts. I would have loved to have seen, audience reaction to that. I feel like this was such a major performance. You're right, coming off of such a major moment. I mean, everyone is aware of WAP. Everyone knows the journey, the story, the song, whether you love it or hate it. And you had to appreciate this performance, the work they put in. It was just top notch. I hope we see more from the two of them because you're right. They were so powerful on that stage together. Totally blown away. There were just so many incredible performances. This was such an epic Grammys. We do have an honorable mention because honestly, it was just so hard to narrow down the list. It just felt impossible. We got to talk about Doja Cat because she performed Say So, which kind of like WAP. Say So, I mean, go back to early pandemic days when we were all just downloading TikTok and learning the choreography and had this on repeat. And she had such like a vibe with that music video. I think a lot of people kind of take what we're used to, they translate it to the stage, right? And she just reinvented Say So on the Grammy stage. She did do the iconic TikTok choreography, which we all love to see. But she came to play. I didn't know she had this in her. I didn't know she was such a dancer, such a performer. So let's take a quick look at Say So as well.
I mean, I love this futuristic look with this leather costume and the lasers in the background. I mean, it was really different for sure than anything else that we saw throughout the night at the Grammys. So, and like you said, Fiona, I didn't know Doja Cat as a performer. I only knew that viral TikTok song because I was doing exactly that. I was on TikTok. I did do the dance. I made a video. It's fine early on in the pandemic, but I think TikTok really did advance her career. And it's just so cool to see an app really push an artist forward. And then, we don't know if they're going to be good or bad or whatever. We just know this TikTok song. And then we see this and we're like, oh, okay, Doja Cat came to party. Like she was just amazing. She blew me away, exceeded all of my expectations. So I had a lot of fun and I wanted to get up and dance with her. Like this whole thing just made me want to dance. So it was unbelievable.
I am so, so with you. Gianna, I'm about to ask a question that I feel like is impossible to answer because I literally couldn't even narrow this down to 5 and still want to talk about all of the other performances as well because they were so incredible. But do you have a favorite? Can you pick a favorite? I mean, it was an incredible night.
Wow, it's really hard to pick just one favorite, but I mean, as I said earlier, I love Dua Lipa. I loved that performance. I wish I was in that performance as a backup dancer. I just loved everything about it that I already said. So that's my short and sweet answer. Dua Lipa was my favorite, but I mean, it's hard to choose just one. That's just my opinion. I think they were all immaculate performances. So, I mean, it's hard to just pick her, but if I had to choose.
If you had to choose, I love it. I feel like if I had to choose, maybe Taylor Swift. I don't know, you guys. I loved everyone. It was such a great night. I was so blown away. I really hope that as we like continue award season, we can keep up the excitement, keep up the energy because I love award season, you guys. There's so much to look forward to. On that note, do you guys have a clear favorite, a clear moment from the Grammys that like was the moment of the night for you? We want to know. So let us know down in the comments. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring. I was joined by the wonderful Gianna Gravelisi. If you haven't already and you want to come say hi, our social handles are on the screen right now. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.